I hate to say I called it, but it looks like Starfield might get delayed. What's going on, everyone? That guy right here with the news you need to know. And today we got to talk about Starfield. Why? Because I just made a video literally a week or two ago talking about my predictions for Starfield. We got some new updates, some new information. A couple days from then, we got information about the developer direct that Xbox is planning on doing on January 25th. Mark your calendars. And now today, or yesterday actually, a bunch of information starts floating around Twitter sphere, and people start making articles where reliable sources are suggesting that based on some new information, Starfield could potentially be getting a delay, not releasing in the first half of 2023, but potentially still releasing in a summer timeline. Now, we're going to talk about this article, so I want to give you guys the information where I got it from, as well as what this potentially could mean for Starfield. Will people begin to riot and run the streets, or is this actually a good thing for Xbox and Starfield as a whole, as we look at the bigger picture? So without further ado, let's get into the article. All right, guys, so this article comes directly from Comic Book Gaming. However, there's a number of articles that have been written by a number of different sources and outlets, really highlighting the same information. And so we're going to read this article and we'll get into more of a discussion about it afterwards. So the article starts, Starfield release date reportedly delayed. Now, this has not been confirmed. I typically don't talk about rumors. However, I do feel like based on the information that is given in this article, based on the sources that it comes from, that this is going to end up being in fact direct and actually factual when it actually releases. Now, Bethesda hasn't come out and said anything about it, but I believe that it's just a matter of time given information that is in this article and information we've already talked about in previous videos. So the article continues on and says that Starfield release date has reportedly been delayed. Right now, the new spacefaring RPG from Bethesda Game Studios, the team behind Elder Scrolls and Fallout, is scheduled to release sometime in the first half of this year, which is to say sometime by the end of June. So we already, talked about this. June 30th, this game is supposed to be coming out, or at least that's like the max deadline that they have for it. According to new and aforementioned report, though, it's not going to make this window, but it won't be far behind it. So my thoughts were that this game was going to come out June 30th at the latest. I could also see it, and I predicted that this also, based on the fact that we still hadn't gotten a release date for this game, it was very plausible to believe that this game was not going to make it and that they were just waiting on the right time to break the news to everybody. So the report comes the way of a popular YouTuber and occasional industry insider, Mr. Matty Plays. Speaking during Last Stand Media's Defining Duke podcast, Mr. Matty relayed word that he's heard the game will not be releasing in this previously promised window, but will be out sometime this summer, so presumably sometime in July or August. So August would be the new deadline. The original deadline was June 30th, at the latest, and it looks like I could see this game getting pushed back a few weeks. Starfield is getting a possible bump out of the first half because it's currently updated. The YouTuber added, the source is someone that I trust quite a bit, and they've been very correct. Nothing from that source has been wrong. Unfortunately, Mr. Matty Plays does not provide a new release date, and of course, it's possible this information is off the mark entirely. In other words, remember to take this with a grain of salt. That said, this lines up with recent rumblings and our new theory about when the game will release. Now, I want to stop there and say that, yeah, this is something that we have talked about in the previous video. I've rumored, I predicted in my last video that this game was not going to meet June 30th, because if it was one of their biggest games to date, I would hope that they would have had more concrete information, maybe another trailer or something, just highlighting the game. If this is one of your biggest games in the current gen, you would expect that they would have had a bit more information. However, we haven't really heard much of anything since the little new information that we got about 6 months ago for this game. All of this kind of lines up to the idea that something's going on behind the scenes where they might not necessarily be ready to drop this game. Now, obviously, these were just predictions, but with this information and insider sources that, reportedly have never been wrong, this potentially could state that could be true. That could be true. We'll continue on with the article. So the article continues on. It says Starfield is set to release sometime this year via Xbox Series X, Series X, and PC. When it does release, it will be available via Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, in addition to the standard purchasing options. And that's pretty much it. The rest talks about the game and all that. But yeah, So, my thoughts. Do I think that this is correct? Well, of course, this is a rumor at the end of the day, and as it said in the article, you really have to take these rumors with a grain of salt until they are confirmed by actual sources, either Aaron Greenberg, Phil Spencer, some representative coming directly from, tweeting it directly from Xbox's, social medias, or from Bethesda themselves, which I would assume that this announcement, when it is announced, will come from Bethesda itself. My thoughts on, do I think that this is real? Like I said, it's a rumor, so we don't know. We don't know if this is real. However, if the source from Mr. Matty Plays is correct, which apparently, based on this article, he's never been wrong before, I could very much see that this is a possibility. I kind of do believe it. While it hasn't been confirmed, so we can only really speculate at this point, I do feel that this is potentially factual, and it's only a matter of time before they come out and actually say it. Now, they're doing the direct, which is going to focus on Redfall, potentially giving a Redfall release date, and we always predicted that Redfall was going to release first. However, the biggest thing that makes me believe that this is true is the fact that Redfall and Starfield were both slated for the first half of 2023, which to this day made absolutely no sense to me. I never was able to understand why you would have two of your major releases release in the same window, unless, especially given the fact that neither of these games had a release date confirmed. If Redfall had already been confirmed back at, December, that this game was going to drop in March 2023, right? Then I could potentially believe that 3 months later, June 2023, we would be getting Starfield. But if this comes out, that the direct that happens next week reveals that Starfield or that Redfall is coming out in April or May, you can almost guarantee that this game, Starfield, is not going to come out in June. You can guarantee it, because it would make no sense. It would hurt Xbox, it would hurt Starfield, because people would still be hyped off Redfall. They'd still be playing that. And so, yeah, some might jump over and play Starfield, but either you're going to hurt Starfield's numbers and how many people are playing that game, because Starfield comes out weeks after, or you're going to hurt Starfield, which people just don't purchase it at all. So the fact that, so it really comes down to next week. And if we get confirmation of Redfall's release and it's sometime in the April-May window, I can guarantee you Starfield would not be releasing in June. Guaranteed. And so, but that's just obviously prediction. We have to wait on that. But based on the fact that both these games were first half 2023, that already gives you information that and clues that this game was not going to release in the same window. So, with that being said, is this bad? If this comes out and they are delaying it, is it bad? Not necessarily. In fact, I don't think it's bad at all. I think it actually will be a good thing for Starfield. Not because of Redfall entirely, but if we look at the first half of this year, January, February, March, I mean, there's heavy hitters coming out every month. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. We've got Resident Evil 4 remake. We've got Dead Space coming out. Hogwarts Legacy. That's just to name a few. We're not even jumping into Nintendo, Octopath Traveler 2, and so many other games. Breath of the Wild 2, I believe, comes out this summer. And so when you look at that, if you want to maximize how many people play Starfield, I wouldn't be releasing this game, one, near one of your other big titles on your same platform, and two, I wouldn't be releasing this game near other major titles if you really want to maximize its success, right? And that's just one of the reasons. The other reason is it's good because we know Bethesda's track record. We know how they typically operate, and most of their games, about 90% of their games, always drop unfinished, bug-ridden messes. Now, is that to say that you give Starfield a little more time in the oven, it still won't have bugs? Not really. Probably still will. But if the amount of bugs that it has right now, and if they were to release it at the window that they had, potentially breaks the game and makes it unplayable for a lot of people, to give it 2 more months even, to have a bit more time and have a bit more of an open window where there aren't as many games releasing, I think that that's a smart strategic strategy for, not only the release, but also for the developers if they need more time to polish things up. Because when we really think about it, Starfield is their big hitter. It's a big heavy hitter for Phil Spencer. He needs this win. He needs this game to be a success, a massive success. He needs it to drop on Elden Ring level. Elden Ring dropped in. I think Elden Ring had a few bugs, but it was a damn near completed, finished product. And it's very rare that you get games that don't need day one patches, that don't need, fixes. And I mean, look at Fallout 76. Their last major title dropped and it was completely unplayable for a lot of people. So much that most people who dropped it in the first couple months never came back. No matter how good the game got, never came back. We look at a game like if we look at No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky came out in 2016, was a very ambitious title, but was damn near unplayable at launch, and it took them almost 4 years to fix it. Look at Cyberpunk 2077, another game that dropped, was almost unplayable for people on last-gen consoles. I think the only system it was running decently on was PC, but it took them about a year of fixes to make the game playable. And so it's, you know, Bethesda, Xbox, they do not need a situation like this. So I think delays are always, they're never great, but it's not to say that there's nothing to play, you know, between now and if they were to release it in, you know, between July and August. I think there's still going to be plenty to play. And so, you know, if it does come out to be a delay, factual delay, we'll do another video about it, talking about it, whatever information comes out about it. But I think that it's actually a good thing. I hope that they do delay it, because they don't need to be releasing this game unfinished for a number of reasons. And so that's all for me, guys. That's what I have to say about it. I just want to pass the information on. As always, again, this is a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt, but I think it poses an interesting conversation about what this could mean for Xbox, Phil Spencer, Bethesda, if this game actually does end up getting an announcement that it does get delayed. I think it'd actually be a good thing for them, and I hope they do delay it, because at this point, I anticipate that this game is far from finished. That's just my guess, but if it was close to finishing, I think we would have had some new information about it by now. With the game that comes out within the next 6 months, you know, I think, you know, the first half of 2023 is such a vague release window, you know, and I think it poses, as I predicted before, I think it posed flexibility for them to potentially delay it without issue. If they're saying, hey, it was going to come out this day, but we're going to push it back a couple weeks, it'll just come out in July or August. You know, but that's all my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think that this is real? Is it factual? Do you hope that they do get a delay? And if so, why? Let me know in the comment section below. Drop a like on this video if you do like the news-based content. I like doing these videos for you guys. Any support you drop on this video really does mean a lot. Shows me that I should do more of these. And yeah, that's it for me, guys. But as always, my name is That Guy Rye, giving you the news you need to know. I will see you in the next video.